With reports that the novel coronavirus is staging a surge again in various Indian cities, the authorities back home have also called on the general public to exercise maximum caution to counter the possible transmission of the dreaded virus. The government now has called on all 77 district headquarters to keep isolation and quarantine centers in readiness to counter the threat of COVID-19. Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama and these are the headlines of the hour. The Madhav Kumar Nepal faction of ruling CPN-UML to withdraw its no-confidence motion filed against the chief ministers of Province 1 and Bagmati Province. Home Ministry circulates a notice to all 77 district administration officers to arrange isolation and quarantine wards, fearing a surge in COVID-19 cases. India temporarily holds all exports of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. Some 190 countries under the COVAX scheme likely to be affected. And Nepal to clash against Kyrgyzstan today in the Three-Nation Cup football tournament. Match to kick off at 5:30 this evening at Dashrath Stadium. The Madhav Kumar Nepal faction of ruling CPN-UML has decided to withdraw its no-confidence motion filed against the chief ministers of Province 1 and Bagmati Province. Lawmaker of Bagmati Province and leader Rajendra Pandey said they had decided to withdraw the proposal after holding meetings with lawmakers from both the provinces and legal advisors. Leader Pandey informed that they would withdraw the no-confidence motion once the assembly meeting resumes at both the provinces. Another lawmaker, Rachana Khadka, informed that the decision was taken to avoid the party division. The Pushpa Kamal Dahal Madhav Kumar Nepal faction of the erstwhile Nepal Communist Party had registered the no-confidence proposal against Chief Minister Dormani Podal of Bagmati Province on 25th of December and tabled it on 22nd of January. Likewise, the faction had registered the no-confidence vote against Chief Minister Sherdan Rai of Province 1 on 27th of December and tabled it on 21st of February this year. Moving on, the Home Ministry has circulated a notice to all 77 district administration officers to arrange necessary isolation and quarantine centers, fearing a surge in COVID-19 cases. The ministry directed all the administration officers of 77 districts to keep isolation and quarantine centers in readiness, speculating a rise in the number of coronavirus cases in the country. Spokesperson of the Home Ministry, Chakrabadur Buddha, informed that the ministry directed all the administration officers to ensure that people are following necessary health measures and brace up with required health protocols to cope up with the possible surge in cases. Likewise, the ministry also directed concerned officers to collect information of people entering the country through the Nepal-India border points and carry out mandatory health checkups, saying that a surge in cases could well have a spiral effect in the country. A subcommittee of the Education and Health Committee under the House of Representatives also recommended the government to have necessary infrastructures in all provinces and centers for the treatment and control of COVID-19. Now, it was on 24th of March last year that the government had imposed lockdown across the country in a bid to control the global pandemic of COVID-19. For many, those days have already been limited to painful memories. In the meantime, security personnel and health workers who have been engaged as frontline workers since the very beginning are yet to receive the COVID health allowance the government had committed earlier. This spectacle is from Baneshore last year when the country experienced its first lockdown. With countrymen confined inside their houses, it was only security personnel deployed in the streets across the country. Most of the office bearers have received allowances allotted by the government for their contribution during the pandemic. However, almost 50,000 security personnel deployed from the street to the border points during the period have been deprived of the allowance. The Nepal police had established 299 additional posts and 797 health desks in the border area. At least 7,000 policemen contracted the coronavirus, while 7 succumbed to COVID-19. Likewise, the armed police force added 98 additional border outposts while sealing the border transits. A total of 2,088 security personnel of the department were infected, while 4 succumbed to the infection. In such circumstances, it is sad to note that 29,000 APF policemen have not received risk allowance. Health experts opine that the risk of coronavirus still persists in Nepal, as the new wave of the pandemic has already gripped the world. It is therefore viewed as challenging for the government to deploy its own units with proven discriminatory approach to minimize the possible health risk. Authorities have reported a fire eruption in a forest area near Palpa's headquarter Tansin since last night. The fire began at Bandevi, Holangdi and Srinagar Dada forest areas since last night. Employees of the forest office, army men, policemen among others are still attempting to contain the fire. The police have informed of difficulty in containing the fire due to strong windy conditions. Based on the data of Customs Department, timber products worth 6.6 billion rupees were imported in the country through various routes last fiscal year, while large scale of locally produced timber were left useless. In this context, in our Public Voice segment, we had asked local residents in Pokhara what is the reason for the preference of imported timber products over those produced locally. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
कानुन चाहिँ अलि फितलो भएको र अनि त्यहाँ जुन वनका कर्मचारीहरूले पनि त्यसमा चाहिँ सहयोग नगरेको जस्तो अवस्था देखिन्छ।
कुन तहका व्यक्तिहरूले आफ्नो चाहिँ व्यक्तिगत स्वार्थको लागि प्रयोग गरेको हो जस्तो मलाई लाग्छ र चाहिँ बाहिरबाट आउँदाखेरि उनीहरूले चाहिँ फाइदा लिन सक्ने यावत कुराहरू होला।
सरकारले नीति ल्याएर काम गर्नुपर्छ। यो छिटो भन्दा छिटो खुला गर्नुपर्छ। यसले चाहिँ ठुलो धनराशि नोक्सान गर्ने छ हाम्रो देशको।
सहज रूपमा बिक्री गर्ने कानुन बन्यो भने मात्रै विदेशी काठहरू नेपालमा आउँदैनन्, अन्यथा यो कानुन बन्न नसकेको खण्डमा फेरि पनि नेपालले ती खालका दुर्दशाहरू भोग्न पर्ने अवस्था छ।
Time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, why has No Mure hydropower project not gained momentum? Your options are A, lack of interest, B, lack of resources, and C, effect of geopolitics. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for the sports update. Nepal is all set to take on Kyrgyzstan under-23 in the second match of the Three-Nation Cup football tournament. The match at the renovated Dashut Stadium in Tripureshwar is scheduled to kick off at 5:30 this evening. The young Kyrgyz side had conceded a 1-0 defeat to Bangladesh in the inaugural match of the tournament. Nepal coach Bal Gopal Maharjan said that the host nation will not underestimate the potential of the team. Meanwhile, Kiran Chemjong, who is leading Team Nepal for the first time on home soil, expressed his excitement to play in front of the home crowd after a long hiatus. Meanwhile, the national squad for the Three-Nation Cup football tournament was announced only yesterday on the eve of Nepal's match against Kyrgyzstan. Coach Bal Gopal Maharjan announced the 23-member team yesterday. Team Nepal, led by Kiran Chemjong, has been shortlisted by removing 10 players who were in the close camp training. The notable absentees have been Navoyuk Shrestha and George Prince Karki. Ananta Tamang and Biraj Maharjan have made a comeback in the team. Bikesh Kutu and Deep Karki are the two other custodians in the team. Rohit Chand, Dinesh Rajbansi are among the defenders, while Anjan Bista, Darshan Gurung, Abhishek Rizal and Bharat Khawas make up the forward line. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a great day ahead.